Last time, you guys found the murderer, a fae named Gurnak, who you then abducted, questioned, and have decided to go to the fae court to have him be fully and completely arrested, incarcerated, and punished. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, and you said Kingsdale's calling in his debt with them to do this? With Alina?
Well, yeah, kind of. The idea is, yes. So what we want to do is try to meet with Alina to call in our debt with her to take us to the Fae.
Cool.
The fairest queen.
The fairest queen.
You guys head back up the mountain into the forested area that is Fae lands. How do you get Alina's attention? Like, what does it look like you guys wandering in this forest?
Ooh.
Honestly, it's probably just walking in.
I mean, you guys snuck in before, you know. I didn't know if you're just yelling or if you're just walking in. So if you just want to walk in and start yelling.
I feel like it's like how you're supposed to go through the forest when you're in bear country, where you're just like being loud, you know? You're just like walking along, talking loudly, making noise, like walking noisily, you know?
Cool. So you guys start being loud. Calling out her name or whatever she gave you, whatever you want to call it.
I pat the ground 3 times and say her name or something like that. That feels appropriately Fae-like.
As you do this, you see her come out. She was on a stag last time, wasn't she?
Yes, she was riding something.
On a stag, a large stag with antlers comes out. You see a fairy dressed in woodland armor. The river said we would speak again. And here you are, Kingsdale, and someone new.
This is Saza. She's my employer and friend, and we have come not necessarily to speak about rivers, but to request a favor from you in return for the flower that I returned.
If it is something within my power to give, I will see it happen.
We simply wish to meet your queen. I believe we have important business to discuss with her, and it is something that cannot wait. And as we have done a favor for your people, we feel maybe it would be good to meet who we have done a favor for.
Well, I am the one that you have done a favor for. I am the border guard, and you have done me that favor.
Well, certainly, but you do not work for yourself. You have a master, someone who you serve. You have oh my gosh, what was the word I was just going to go for? A benefactor. You know, someone who ensures that you are fed, ensures that you are protected, and that is who we wish to speak to.
Though I am not sure I fully see the point, I will honor this debt that I owe you and take you to meet the coldly beautiful fairest queen beneath the earth. So she leads you winding through the forest where the trees get denser and the forest gets darker. And you see some weird, as you get deeper and deeper in, it gets more and more like natural and wild. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing pipes and gears and mechanicalness to it, which is weird. Out of the ground, you see a smokestack just puffing smoke as you weave around this, and she eventually leads you to a ramp going downwards. Are any of you able to see in the dark?
No.
No, I do not believe I can see in the dark.
I'll be fine.
Excellent. Humans are very limited in what they are able to do, I have found. Here, enjoy these. And she hands you luminous mushrooms.
What? Do I eat these? These let me see in the dark, or?
You hold them up, Kingsdale.
Yeah, but are they poisonous, though, or can we?
I would suggest not eating something from a fae.
Fine.
No, it's completely fine. She just stares at you.
Again, I wouldn't trust a fae or eat anything from them.
Okay. So, you guys walk down, and it is a subterranean industrial complex that has a very steampunk feel to it. There are lots of pipes and gears around. It seems to be powered by what you would assume to be steam contraptions throughout, as there is not much light, but your glowing mushrooms illuminate enough that you can see where you're going. You descend deeper in. You see the fashion switch from a more organic, naturey feel that Alina has on to something that's more leather and straps and mechanical. People have goggles as a fashion statement and not just as useful eye protection. You see different moonshine distilleries around, as it seems to be a large-scale operation that they are doing with that. You're led deeper and deeper into these tunnels before you find what looks to be an elaborate palace. There's like a larger cavern that they're in, and in the center of it is think a Disney castle made of pipes, you know?
Okay.
It has that sort of aesthetic to it, you know? There's not a flat surface that they didn't think, this could look prettier with a pipe on it. Things are nonsensical and not placed together in a functional way, but it does look aesthetically pleasing to, like, as you glance at it. Like, you'll see things that are like, why would you use 14 gears to do that when you could use one? But it does look pretty.
It's a bit of a Rube Goldberg sort of situation.
Yes. Alina leads you in and pushes open these doors. You have to wait for a little bit to get an audience with the queen. Or she, goes ahead for a few minutes and then she comes back. Good news. The moons are in alignment. The stars have bestowed their blessings, and the court of iron is in session. Let us go, and I will make formal introductions to you, to the fairest queen. You guys head into a chamber. It is a large room. It has a throne up at the front of it. There are rows of seats, not dissimilar to like an amphitheater kind of seating, where you see a bunch of different fae. It is decently crowded, probably a couple hundred people there, as the fae are milling about. It is a little bit noisy, but not unbearable. As you walk down these steps, you see all of the fae here. The closer you get to the center, the more heavily laden with fashion they are, the more gears and cogs they are, and the less organic it looks. And by the time you're up at the front near the dais, Alina stands out with her garb being very forest and floral and organic. The fairest queen sits atop a throne. She is wearing a large amount of what you presume to be iron. Her throne is made completely of iron. She has, all the belt straps, anything that's not leather seems to be made of iron. It has that deep gray quality to it. My lady, the fairest queen of the Iron Court, I present to you friends of the court, Kingsdale, and Saza, who have helped return property that was wrongfully stolen from us back to our rightful place.
And bows.
Kingsdale doesn't, and looks angry.
Elbows him.
Saza does not fully bow, but she does do like a head dip.
It seems that some of you know how to introduce yourselves properly, but I cannot expect such low beings as yourself to know all of our rules. Welcome to my court. Is there anything that I can get for you? Say, a meal, something to eat, something to drink?
I actually think that we are doing just fine. Unfortunately, we do have a matter of importance to bring in front of you today. Sadly, we have discovered that a member of your Fae court has murdered a human that was found, and his murder is currently being investigated by the mortals of the nearby town up above. Based on what we have heard and what we have seen, it seems as though the humans are going to blame the Fae for this murder. Now, we have a vested interest in keeping peace in this area. If it pleases your majesty, we believe that a good way to keep the peace here would be if we were able to send those that were conspiring and committed this murder, keep them down here, away from the humans. Potentially, if there is a punishment of your own that would satisfy the humans, that would certainly be a way to ensure that this will not happen again. But also, if you are uninterested in having these mortals pass along your lands, you might consider having very clear and obvious signs to keep them away. I am sure you understand how stupid many, many, many mortals can be. So the more obvious, the better.
At that, she looks at Kingsdale, who did not bow.
Kingsdale's just staring at her.
You'll have to forgive my companion. As I said, some mortals are very stupid.
Make me a convince an NPC roll. Unless you have something, unless one of your moves is better. But
Seduce her!
I don't think anything is specifically good for that. Okay, that's a 10.
Nice. This is why we had Sauce do this.
This is why you don't have debts to cash in, though. You keep rolling too well, Sala.
Right.
Apparently, jeez.
I can see the wisdom of your words. You seem to interact more with humans and their stupidity more than I do, which lends your words a certain amount of credence among me and my court. Who did you say these people were that committed this horrible crime against the humans?
Unfortunately, I did not say, but we have found that Gurnak and Alina were the ones behind this.
At this, you see Alina's face pale. Your Majesty, I only did silence. You have not only made a mistake, you have made the bigger sin by being caught making a mistake in my court, tarnishing our beautiful metallic name. You and Gurnak will be punished severely for your indiscretion, and I will not hear another word of it. Additionally, we will need to put up signage in the forest. How can humans read?
I believe most of them can, but symbols would also work. Very obvious, like X's.
All right, we will see that done, even if it sullies the beauty of our land. And you said you will make sure that this will be completely taken care of, and it will not reflect poorly on us at all?
Correct. I will, when meeting with the mortals that are dealing with this, I will let them know that you have wisely chosen to punish those who took part in this, and that it is being handled by your court and you, and we shall trust that it is taken care of, and the humans will not interfere on your lands or with your people again.
Will you make one more thing clear to these authorities? That those who trespass on our lands will be subject to our laws and our practices and our customs, and not have the amnesty of human laws to fall back on.
I certainly will.
All right. It was nice meeting you all. I have some dissidents to punish. Where can... She turns to some guards behind her. Go fetch Gurnak from his house. He spends most of his time there.
We actually discovered him right outside of your lands, I think. And we have him restrained at the moment. Not harmed, just restrained.
Let him back to Fairyland, and we will see that he is immediately seized upon, and he will be put to full punishment under our rules and laws.
Would you like to send some of those guards along with us to ensure his return?
Very well, I can do that. And then she ushers you guys out,
Yeah.
She lets you know that you're dismissed.
Yep.
Yeah, M's like, great, let's get out of here.
Did it.
Alrighty, so I'm assuming you guys just turn in Gurnak, or are you guys making a thing of it?
I don't think we're making a thing of it.
Cool. I that's why I said I assumed you guys are turning him in. So that exchange happens pretty cordially. The guards follow you. They don't really talk much, and he is taken back. Where are y'all off to next?
I think M would want to go talk to Sarah. Well, it's a relief to be done with that. Saza, excellent as always.
You just have to know how to talk to people like that. Or beings like that, I guess I should say.
There's a reason I did not say anything.
Smartest thing you've done recently.
I would like to argue with you on that account because I feel that I was invaluable in apprehending one of the conspirators of this murder. However, he proved to be an unfit adversary, unworthy of my skills and efforts, so I believe in this case you are correct.
Well, I think we probably want to let the sheriff know how this all went down. So at the very least, she can let everyone know about not trespassing in the Feyland anymore.
And I'll go talk to Sarah. Tie up that loose end.
That sounds like a plan.
All right. Heads back up to the mining town to find Sarah at the desk you found when you first met her. A couple days ago at this point. No, I guess it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I was out for 3 days. That makes time go faster.
Yeah, and you had about a week since you met her between that and the mystery starting. So it's been about 2 weeks. Sure, somewhere around there.
Knock knock. I have good news.
I was hoping you'd say that. Who killed my man? And by my man, I mean the company man. I don't know what. It's early.
Her man.
I didn't know him, person who's not in this scene.
So, before I tell you that, you have to promise the mining company isn't going after retribution. It's already been taken care of internally. Are we clear?
Do I look like I have that kind of power here?
Yes.
You fully misjudge who I am in this organization.
Well, you were put in charge of finding out who did it, so...
But that doesn't mean I'm in charge of how we respond.
I assume you have some sway with your employers. Is that not true?
I can see what I can do. I can't promise that. You have to understand why I can't promise that. Can you promise that your compatriots will always do what you say?
Depends on what's being asked.
Yeah, you're asking a lot from the mining company. And they're not my equals. Or I'm not their equal. They're well more equal than I am.
I'm sure you're worth twice as many of them.
That's
Don't
sweet of you to say. That's kind of you to say. However, I also very much know that I am a replaceable cog in this machine.
So I can give you their names, but that's about it.
Okay.
If that's the case.
I mean, I can't what do you want me to promise? I don't have that power. You're asking for retribution not to come. I'm going to put it in a report and they're going to do what they will with it.
Then maybe I can't give you their names.
Then maybe I can't give you a job.
Are you sure?
Yes! You are asking me to do impossible things.
All right. Your loss, I guess.
I mean, I'm not the one without a job, so...
Well, if you need more books cooked or mysteries solved, I guess you know
I will call you when when you solve the first mystery I gave you, to a satisfying end for me and the Prosperity Plateau Mining Corporation. Until then, have a nice day. I have work to do.
Bye, Sarah.
Mandy, you're going to the sheriff.
Sheriff Daniels.
Sheriff Daniels. So you find the sheriff having just broken up a brawl at the Gold Dust. Miss Saza, nice to see you again.
What time of day is it?
It's about noon, I think.
We'll just say it's noon.
if that does not make sense with where we left it last time, we're gonna say it's the next day and noon.
Yeah.
Daytime.
It's hard playing a week apart sometimes because I don't write down stuff like what time of day it is.
It was 2:30. Yeah.
Yeah. Good day to you, Sheriff Daniels. How are you doing this fine morning, afternoon? Not entirely sure what time it is at this point.
You might want to get that checked out. The sun's in the... Never mind. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Not many people care. They're usually cussing me out when I see them, so it's nice to see a friendly face.
Well, hopefully I will continue your good day or good conversation with me, because I do have some news regarding the murder of Mr. Hooper.
What news is that? Have you solved the crime? Mystery? I don't know what I should be calling it. It feels trite to be calling it a mystery when a man died.
I don't know how much solving I in particular did, but my employees and I did discover that it seems to have been members of the Fae Court. We had a discussion with the court itself and the Queen, the Fairest Queen, and they are going to take the punishment into their own hands since it was their own people. However, we did also speak to them about making it very obvious that, sounds silly, but not Fae, don't go into their territory by making very obvious markers to prevent something like that from happening again, because apparently it stemmed from Mr. Hooper going into their territory.
Well, I can't say I'm exactly happy that the Fae are executing their version of justice. At least they're not going to do it again.
Ideally, they won't, as long as people understand to not go and steal things from them.
Well, I'll try to make that clear. I'm sorry, this was rude of me. I appreciate all the help that you and your employees did, Saza. This has saved me a headache, and I'm glad that we're not going to have to worry about being murdered on the way to the mining camp.
Well, and I certainly hope the rumors about the quiver sand will go away now.
I will do everything I can. I want to point out, did not start them. That was not me.
Oh, no, certainly not. No, but coming from a upstanding person such as yourself, hopefully those rumors will stop now that we know what caused Mr. Hooper's demise.
Well, I appreciate your faith in me, and I will see that it is rewarded.
Thank you kindly.
All right, and you head off back to the Quiver Sand, I'm assuming.
Yep.
All right. We are basically at the end of stuff for this arc. So any scenes you guys want to have before we're done? I know Cody wants to have one with each of you. Are there any other scenes people want to have?
I want to talk to Trevin at the Authors of Steel.
Okay. Do you have anything, Saza?
Only what I mentioned to you about finding somebody to take over the tavern when I am... so that I can, get away in the evenings if I need to. But we talked about that being either at the end of this or beginning of next time. So no rush.
Okay.
Do you want that to be a scheme when you start up the next arc? Because you have to pick a scheme? Or do you have a different idea for a scheme?
I don't specifically have an idea for a scheme.
We can deal with that later. Like that idea later.
Yeah, I was just...
I haven't even started thinking about that.
I appreciate the thinking about it, but we also have a long time before that starts up,
Yeah.
Says who? I run short arcs.
I mean, this is the longest arc I've run, so maybe you'll hit the shortest arc you've ever run.
Probably not, no. No, I don't think so.
Cody, who would you like to talk to first?
I think Saza.
Cool.
Because that could be kind of like during the day.
You and Saza find a quiet moment. The tavern is empty. Lilura and Lorin are not in the room. Em is on her way back talking to Sarah to have a quiet moment and chat.
Yeah, so Kingsdale sits down next to you and slides you over a cup of coffee. I wish to speak to you as to the status of my employment here at your lovely establishment.
Saza, like, sighs and picks up the coffee. Okay, so you're planning on moving on, I assume. Did you actually have a new place of employment already?
No, quite the opposite. Being, forthwith.
A man of fortune, a seeker of violence.
Being forthwith and honest and otherwise removing all obfuscation from my station in life, I am, bereft of other options.
I kind of assumed that was the point when you, decided to work for me.
Yes. Now, the thing of it is, Saza, I have not been a, charming companion for many weeks and months and years of my life, and find myself protecting a brothel and otherwise running games of chance out of it, actually being perhaps the most constructive employee that I have found myself in the last several years.
I'm shocked. I usually only hear that from Lelora and Leloran.
Well, but given that, I think maybe it is fair for you to understand that I am not, within good standing in my community.
Sansa takes a second and, like, looks around at the tavern. I don't think any of us really are. Why would we be here otherwise?
Well, now that brings me to my point. I will say the presence of a Hunter's Guild here is troublesome for me and for you. For you, because hunters, by and large, are mistrustful, favoring of humanity's interests above all others, and also frequently extremely capable of enacting those wills, which is to say they are dangerous people who wish you harm for no other reason than you are not human. And 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been counted among their numbers. However, due to circumstances both within and without my control, that is no longer the case.
Okay.
I guess what I mean here is that me being here, although beneficial for my martial skills and ability with cards, might also be a danger to you, and I wish to be clear on that. I may not have a specific bounty on my head, but any of the Hunters Guild that learns my name will consider me to be a betrayer, an abandoner, a fleer from his duties, and otherwise unworthy to carry on living given our long lineage of heroics against monsters.
So what I'm hearing is, out of the 5 people that currently work here, you might be wanted or hunted by the hunters. I am a demon who could be hunted by the hunters.
Almost certainly would, yes.
And same with Lelora and Leloran.
To a lesser degree, yes.
You being here doesn't change that status a whole lot.
It would also bear mentioning that M similarly is disadvantaged within the Hunters Guild, depending on how she uses her abilities. We have a tenuous relationship with those who use magic. It is fine so long as we approve of it.
I imagine that at some point, too, with her abilities, it's a little easier to hide something like that if she needed to. But, alright, so either all of us are wanted by the hunters, or could be wanted by the hunters, or most of us are. Again, this doesn't really change the status of the place.
No, it does not, but it brings me to my point as to my proposition.
How many points are there?
Several. Spinning a tale, discussing a yarn, and otherwise bringing about conversation is a tapestry painting rich with examples and with nooks and crannies to explore complex ideas and ultimately with understanding not just a singular idea, but a concept as a whole.
It sounds to me like you might do better getting to your point by having a well-numbered list.
I have never been known to create lists. Frequently I lose them. Now, here is my point. The ultimate point. This is the tapestry with which we are sewing, our words being the yarn and the
Okay,
canvas
out,
on which
Kingsdale.
we stitch being this bar. I'm sorry, what?
Spit it out, Kingsdale.
We need to start digging up dirt on people politically in this town. Now, I have, for most of my life, been drunk and a killer. Those are two skills at which I excel, and I have never done much politically. I believe that has been to my detriment, and I believe it will be here. We have enemies across the street, down the road, and all about us. The Fae most likely do not like me. The werewolves, I think, are on our side somewhat. I believe the mining company is going to continue doing backhanded dealings to try to rob whatever they are robbing. The Fae are going to try to claim more land, and no one likes that we are here. So, we must seek to find allies. Now, we could do that through good humor and charm. We could do that by glad handing and doing favors, or we might achieve this by blackmail, by finding dirt, by gaining leverage, and by creating a network of subservience by which we might coerce those who might wish to do us harm.
Saza kind of like grins at you a little bit, and you can see like her pointed teeth. You certainly are speaking my language.
I thought you might enjoy this proposal, even given the admission of a background that is less than heroic. Which mine truly is less than heroic. The details of which are shameful and long.
Unsurprisingly, I have already been starting to get some things from using Lelora and Leloran. But how do you propose you'll be getting some of that information to use?
Financial debt is a great motivator. Forgiven gambling borrowings are often excellent means by which we could gain information, knowledge, and favors. And I think that we should employ everyone around us to do so. Also, M, I believe, is quite good with finances and might be able to obscure money, obscure income, and otherwise hide the means by which we make certain money.
I think I'm less interested in completely getting financial gains ill-gottenly, but certainly using information is something I'm used to using.
Well, it is in this capacity that I believe I might use very reasonably, righteously got gains of finances, right? If someone loses a great deal and has borrowed money from the house to facilitate their poker debt, maybe an employee of the mayor, maybe a fancy man from the mining company, maybe a werewolf, and maybe a fae. These are all people whom we could buy loyalty from by ignoring their behavior in our establishment. Similarly with Lelurin and Lelura and Lelurin.
You'll get it.
But, frequently people like to brag and speak boldly of themselves while in the company of those they find attractive.
Oh, believe me, that is what I have currently been relying on.
An excellent idea. I believe we should just be direct as to its approach and intentional with the collection and correlation of any information that we may find.
Well, and intentional with who we're getting that from.
Exactly.
I certainly think that's something that we might be able to scheme on.
Kingsdale reaches over and to shake your hand and goes, I believe I like this deal.
Lelora shakes your hand, Kingsdale.
You are now.
Is this a contract? Is that what shaking hands does?
Why not instead call it a business partnership?
That sounds like a contract to me.
You don't know anything about contracts.
I know a lot about contracts. That's kind of how I've been alive for 500 years.
Have you been alive for 500 years making contracts?
You don't know a lot about demons, do you?
I know quite a lot about demons. I know very little about their business acumen.
We're all really good at contracts. Yes, like, Lil'Aren shows up. That's kind of like our whole thing. How do you think we get souls from people?
Can you enter into a contract for which it could kill you? Do you ever enter into contracts that could kill you? Have you ever been tricked while making contracts with humans?
No, I'm good at my job.
No, I understand, but have you ever heard of a demon doing such a thing? I need to write this down.
I mean, there was that one demon. Oh, yeah, him with the golden fiddle. Yeah, that was a bad one. You haven't heard that one?
This might make hunting demons much easier when it becomes necessary. Anyways.
Oh, you don't understand. The fact that Sasa got out of her contract was an anomaly to the point of being... And she, like...
To the point of it not really being
Kingsdale withdraws his hand and goes, so you got out of a contract. Now that is
fully.
A story I would like to hear. If we're going to be business partners.
Not fully out of a contract. I found a loophole.
Do elaborate.
So technically, I am still under Kazaroth's MLM, if you want to call it that, her pyramid scheme. But per the contract that we had, I figured out that I can be in a place that has under a certain amount of people, and it doesn't count as being in a city where I would have to just have a place that continues to work for her.
This might be worth discussing a means of exit from at some point, but we do not have to cross that bridge yet.
No, it's one step at a time.
Exactly. And I believe, like we said, first step, leverage.
Buying me a drink.
You work in a bar. Pour yourself a drink.
I don't wanna.
Speaking of which, I need to go buy someone a drink, and Kingsdale gets up.
I think he's into me. Do you agree, Saza? Don't answer that. Cool.
Can I go talk to Trevin next?
Yep, that's what I was gonna have you do.
Cool.
You return to the Authors of Steel, their blacksmith forges. You see Trevin once again sitting at the desk, bored, flipping through a magazine.
Hello again.
Oh, hello. Are you here for the orrery? I have it ready to be displayed.
Oh, I mean, I'd love to see it, but...
You're gonna see it. I was told it's gonna be the centerpiece of the Quiversand Tavern.
I wouldn't dream of taking that away from Kingsdale.
Don't worry. It's Ori in a horse cart. I will walk it back with you. Come on. He starts walking out the door.
Actually, Trevin,
what?
Do
you want to... I can give you a sneak peek. I'm fully okay with showing you it.
Right. I wanted to talk to you about something else.
I mean, sure, but I don't know what else is as interesting as this.
So she takes some carefully wrapped prosperity medal out of her pocket. I brought a little something for you and was hoping you could maybe do something for me.
I'm listening.
It has come to my attention that I might have had a fae using my name against me.
Did you give a fae your entire name?
It was not my brightest moment. I was very young and stupid.
I guess you can't be blamed. You know what? You're middle-aged for a human, right? That's like, what, 100 years?
No and no.
Are you older, younger?
I'm 28.
You're 28? Humans look like death when they're 28?
Hey!
What? You didn't know? You didn't know? Oh, I'm sorry to be the one to break this to you.
Just put that aside.
I'm sorry that you're dying.
I'm fine, Trevin.
Yes, you're fine. You're doing great. Atta girl. That's what they look like at 28. Oh my god. My gods. Jeez.
Anyway, putting that aside,
Yeah, you're doing great.
I was hoping that you perhaps might be able to teach me over a period of time is fine. How to maybe rebuff that sort of influence.
Have you thought about changing your name?
I didn't think that worked, really.
I mean, it depends. Your name is like an embodiment of yourself, right? There is like the self that is M. And once you start viewing yourself as only M, your true name can shift.
Okay.
Or I guess you could get married. I guess that works too. That might be easier.
What?
Is there anyone you want to marry?
No.
Okay, cool. Because you need something that changes your identity so that you view yourself as the new name.
All right. How long does that take?
I mean, that's up to the person. I smartly just didn't give away everyone my full name.
Right, yes, you're so brilliant. We're all proud of you.
Oh, no, we're not. I'm not brilliant. It's just culturally, I have 47 names.
And you identify with all of them?
Yes, that's my full name. Don't you have more than one name?
Yes.
Do you identify with all of them?
Well, now I'm wondering if I can just maybe distance myself from those and never think about them. And
I would be careful, though. Here's the thing.
Okay.
You have introduced yourself as M. If you distance yourself from your other names, your true name becomes M, which is, if we're being honest, barely a name. It's more of a letter. Or are you EM? You don't have to answer that. You're going to be cagey with me. I'm a fae. I get it. He, holds up an E.
EM? All right.
Is your name Emmett?
I wouldn't tell you if it were.
Empire?
Sure.
Empirical?
Those are all wonderful guesses. Keep it up.
Ember?
She just kind of looks at him.
I don't think this is helping. It's a fun game we fae play. With 47 names, you got a few to burn in there. But yes, I identify with all 47 of my names. No, I'm not telling you any more than Trevin.
And Twisty Pond.
That was sold out of game.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yes. I was just proud of the name Twisty Pond. It was a ridiculous name on a fae name generator that I liked.
This is what you get for sleeping with your players, Zach.
I can... Well, the thing is... Okay, and I haven't tried this, but we could try to do some magic, because I know how to, rebuff fairies a little bit with all the iron work I've been doing, and we can work on something
All right.
rebuff stuff to your name. I don't know if it will work. I've never tried... Oh, this would be an interesting project, though. We could do that.
Yes?
I mean, the thing is you're going to have to trust me at a certain point.
I'm not giving you my name.
I mean, it's hard to rebuff your name. You know what I mean? Okay, so here's what you're
I was
asking
hoping
me.
for mental protection against outside influence.
Okay, but what you are doing is you are asking me to build a wall around a city, and then you're saying, but I'm not telling you where the city is.
It's me. I'm the city.
It's not a one-to-one like that. Ah, man, metaphors are hard. Okay, let me see if I can do this a bit different way. It's like you're asking me to build a wall around a city, but you're not telling me where the city is.
And we can't do anything with iron.
I mean, we can try
Without
stuff.
that?
I'm just letting you know where this is probably going to lead. I'm not asking for it. I'm just letting you know it's going to be hard and weird, and you're going to be wearing a lot of iron.
Okay.
And I mean, you don't have much time left.
Till what?
Till you die.
I'm fine, Trevin.
I know you are.
I don't have tuberculosis.
You don't have to put a brave face on. I'm here for you.
Thanks.
All right, I'll see what I can do, and I'll let you know if I have anything, okay?
All right.
Take it easy. You look like you've had a hard day. Put your feet up, get some nice tea.
Sure.
Say hello to the grandchildren for me.
Will
Oh, wait, you said you
do.
weren't married. Well, I guess that doesn't mean... You know what? This is prying too much. You probably don't want to share all this stuff.
I don't have grandchildren. I'm happy to share that with you.
Okay. Well, go get 'em, champ.
It was good seeing you, Trevin.
All right. Where does your drink date take place?
I think Kingsdale would just wait for M to, like, show back up at the Quiver Sand.
So after having to deal with someone thinking she's dying at 28 from old age, M hurries back in.
Good news. And she like kind of looks around to see if Saza's here. Is Saza here? Is it just Kingsdale? Also, what time is it? Is it like a happening place right now, or is it still like dead afternoon?
I think it was like mid-afternoon.
Okay.
In that case, Saz is probably just like, I don't know, busy setting up.
Making sure Lelura and Lelurin aren't getting into trouble. They are.
Yeah.
Good news. Trevin's done with his orrery.
Oh, I had... Why were you speaking to him about it? Why wasn't I immediately informed as to its completion? I don't know where I can put it.
I'm sure you'll figure out a way.
I feel like Saza will be mad, but how did the conversation with Sarah go?
It could have gone better. I had a moment. I was hoping that she would be able to promise the mining company would not seek out retribution against all Fae, because I didn't feel like starting a war today. But she couldn't promise that. So, and I had a moment of intuition in which I felt it would not be the smartest thing to give her a name. So I didn't, and I did not get the job.
Oh, well, I apologize for that misfortune. I guess it means you are still in the employ of a brothel.
Working on not phrasing it that way, but yes.
Hubert. Q Hubert.
Right.
It is an auspicious group, those of us employed by brothels. It's proud work done for the betterment of all humanity, I am sure.
As long as it's not for the betterment of Hubert.
I don't know that I would want to count him as a member of humanity, but unfortunately we must take the good with the bad. Now, I believe we have a moment, 3 seconds of peace, and I believe you still technically owe me a drink.
I do.
I will say recently I maybe informed one of the Lelurans that they work in a bar and I do not have to pour drinks for them. However, I feel that it would be inappropriate for us to drink in our workplace.
Where do you suggest we go?
I mean, we have to go to the Gold Dust. It is.
I know, it just seemed like the polite question.
My favorite establishment, and Kingsdale puts down the drink that he was already drinking and, like, offers you his arm.
Are you gonna have to go in disguise or something? Are they gonna recognize you there?
No, certainly not. What happens if they recognize me? Will they ask me to leave?
Probably. I guess I'll be having a drink alone then.
I rode a cart with what I thought was a Fey assassin down a mountainside not one day ago. I think I can handle gruff bouncers who are a little unhappy with me.
Well, I'd like to see you.
So as Kingsdale and Em are walking like across the street, Kingsdale's like, so really though, what were you doing with what's his name? Gosh darn it, what's his name?
Trevin.
Trevin. What were you doing with Trevin?
So recently, well, I guess, let me ask you a question. Have you ever done something and then later didn't know why you did it? Is that a familiar feeling?
Well, I guess you could describe that as largely the first third of my 2/3. It would be the first 2/3 of my life was largely spent learning a craft and participating in a profession that I now largely consider to be very little more than wholesale slaughter of anything that is not human.
Right. Well, I haven't had that experience, but I have recently come to understand that things I remembered happening a certain way didn't actually happen that way. I can remember doing things that I didn't remember before, saying things to people, but I don't know why I said them. And before, if somebody had asked me what happened, I would have said, oh, I just drifted apart from so-and-so. The other person moved on, or our paths just didn't cross anymore. But now I remember it differently. I remember breaking things off with people, with ending things, with telling people I didn't want to see them anymore, but it wasn't me. I wasn't the one doing those things, but I was. Somebody's tampered with my memories on the whole thing and tampered with me doing them.
It's like Kingsdale stops outside of the, what is it, Gold Dust, and looks at M. I have at times experienced creatures capable of doing what you are talking about. And frequently in my line of work, the most dangerous things were not necessarily the largest or the ones with the largest claws or the ones with the most ability to deal direct harm. And I believe we saw that in what we were investigating together the last week. The danger here was not a monster, it was someone desperate and piteous. And frequently, that is who does the most harm. So, I guess what I mean to say is that monsters are not limited to those things with sharp teeth and claws. They are also those things that are insidious and twist us against ourselves. And frequently, those are the harder to handle. My version of that was far more, just blindly going along with a life that had been chosen for me. It made sense at the time. I remember it a certain way. I remember heroic deeds done by heroic people to fend off evil creatures of all sorts. And I believe sometimes that was true. There are things that wish us harm for no other reason than they take joy in doing harm. But then there are also creatures that are desperate and hungry, and we treated them much the same. All of that is to say, I know what it is to cast a different lens on my memories, even if it is for a different reason.
Does it get less unsettling?
For me, only recently. I will say I was given to, I learned that the life that I have been living was distasteful and doing more harm than good. I learned that my craft had been corrupted by vanity and by vainglorious attempts at heroics. So I left it. And what I left it for was, putting it plainly, just crime, which I was well suited to. So, it did not get better for me until, you tried to steal my wallet on a train car.
Me? Steal a wallet? I think you have the wrong person.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were attempting to return my empty wallet on a train car.
Obviously.
However, now my wallet is fuller, if you wish to ruin someone's evening in there. I have often found an evening of good company does make things better, because that so far has been the only thing that has made things better for me.
Well, here's to not looking back then. And looking forward.
So what happens when we walk in the bar?
You're let in.
No one makes a scene?
Kingsdale says disappointedly.
A shootout. Shootout. No, you're let in. The Gold Dust is a opulent-looking place, as much as opulent can be described anything in Desperation. It has illusions of grandeur and being better than it is. There is gold accents around, not enough to be gaudy, but you know, given the opportunity, they would be gaudy, but they just don't have the resources to be that. And until recently, they had no competition, so they didn't need to be that.
Can this just be like a montage of Em and Kingsdale, like, just wrecking this bar? Like, not necessarily in a bad way, you know, but it's like...
Like in a sloppy way?
Yeah, like, cut to them drinking and buying rounds, cut to, like, a game of darts where it's like people have their hands on the dartboard and Kingsdale's like, I never miss! Funk!
Yes.
Cut to, like, people saying and dancing on tables, cut to a fight.
It's all of that, and then, as the night wears on, after you guys are thrown out for starting one too many brawls, you can decide on the number that is.
One too many.
Em and Kingsdale head back to the Quiver Sand Tavern.
Let me walk you to your room.
Kingsdale chuckles and goes, maybe you should, may I suggest that maybe
Shh.
we walk me to your room. I live in a basement. There is a cage down there and several foul-smelling tinctures.
Oh, you have the green, yeah, I don't want ghosts. No ghosts tonight. No ghosts.
No ghosts. Not in the weird basement.
Yes. My room. I'll show you to my room.
Your room. We're cutting to Black Sack. I don't think we're gonna narrate a whole sex scene.
Oh,
I think that's the end scene.
sorry.
I thought that was a good end. Anyways, can I mark intimacy moves with both of them? Because I feel like I gave honest information, was given honest information.
You can, it doesn't matter for Mandy, because you called in a debt with the Fae already, which would have marked your wilds.
Yeah, it did. It did. I need to have a friend that's just a human, and I don't.
You need a spare guy.
I need a friend who's knight. That's what I need.
So, as you guys drift off into a dreamy sleep, post fade to black, Em has a fitful sleep, not taking her typical drops.
Did not remember that for sure. Was a little busy.
And you have lots of scenes, but the thing that wakes you is your benefactor back in Bloodport. You're in the office you were, and it feels very real to you in a way that dreams often do. And it feels like a normal day. You go through your normal rhythm. And right as you're having a conversation that you've had before, you've had this dream before, it's a normal thing you go through, you're playing through anxieties. But then the script cuts and he just turns and looks at you and goes, Retta, where are you, darling? And you bolt awake as you hear a train whistle in the distance and see a ghostly little dragon sitting on the windowsill. And we'll end.
What?
Hey Wanderers, thanks for listening to our campaign Desperation. As always, you can follow us on our socials, and if you like what you hear, leave us a review on your podcast app of choice, and tell a friend about the show. We hope you've enjoyed your time in Desperation. Just because it's the end of the line doesn't mean you don't have options.